Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. It's another time for another post about this Alvarez banjo. As you can see, it is all put back together again and has been cleaned to beat the band. Polished. Man. This instrument did not come in without issues. In particular, this machine head, in my book, is very questionable. I'm going to wait and talk with the owner about doing something about that. This thing wants to slip, and the knob has been changed. It is not an original knob. You can see how these original ones look, and this one, obviously, the screw and the button on that, or the handle, has been swapped out. Also, time for a new saddle on this thing. The other one was damaged, broken to the point that it was basically unusable because the piece of wood that supports the high D string in this case, it's D, B, G, D, G. So that's how... and I need to do a little bit more tuning and stretching of the strings. The neck relief is set a little bit deep. We would have to do a complete fret job on this in order to, meaning the relief here. There's supposed to be a bit of relief out here in the middle. This neck is not flat on a guitar or a banjo. So I have this set right around 16 thousandths. Out here, right around the, ninth fret, up here, 10th fret. And let's see, what else have we done? We have tuned the head on this. When it came in, it was really flat. It's likely because all the nuts underneath here had loosened up over time. The thing expands and contracts as it gets cold and hot, and those nuts work their way loose. Is what happens. They don't get tighter. They generally get looser over decades of non-use. And again, this instrument hasn't been played in like 25 years, is what the owner has communicated to me. So that's kind of the deal with that. Have polished up all of the metal, and yes, I've gotten fingerprints on it. It's difficult to keep one of these clean when you're doing so much work. You touch it everywhere. And you can get a little bit of grease from your fingers. Polished the frets. Look at those things. If you wonder what they look like, go back and look excuse me, at a couple of videos I did earlier yesterday. In particular, the first one that I put up yesterday morning, sometime around 11 o'clock West Coast time, and see what these look like before and after. And you can get an idea of the kind of work that I do here. These are polished with up to 2,000 grit, and then they are finished off with a buffing compound that I make myself. I have scraped all of the fretboard. This had enough stuff on it that it required a razor blade scraping. I removed as little material, rosewood, as was humanly possible. And it still has the old man's fingernail disease, OMFD. Yeah. Jerry Rosa, you can thank him for that. Watch his channel. He is an amazing luthier. He builds some of the finest mandolins and guitars to grace our beautiful planet. And gotten the alignment a bit better. As you'll notice, if you look down this fretboard, there's a gap here and not quite the same gap on this side. And unfortunately, as much try as I will, scooting the saddle over, which is intonated, you'll notice it's sitting at an angle. It has to be turned this direction in order for the intonation on the instrument to be even remotely close. And it is awful close at this point. I wish I could play a banjo better, and I may put up a video here in a few minutes playing something. I did come up with something. One other thing that I've done for the owner of this is installed a banjo strap. This came in with a guitar strap, a very totally 60s era strap. This is what came on it. And if you're into hippie stuff, hey, put it back on there. But in order to get it back on there, you have to remove one of the head holder, I call them a head holder pin. There's a nut underneath here that you cannot get out without pulling the back off of this instrument. The other thing is that, in my honest opinion, tying a guitar strap to the headstock of your guitar, I mean, people do it. They've done it for decades. But why would you do something like that that would push stress on the neck of your instrument? And while you're playing, if you're moving, if you're feeling the groove, and you're wiggling your guitar, you're bouncing up and down, your neck is bending and bending your strings out of pitch constantly. I totally despise tying a guitar strap or a banjo strap on the headstock of an instrument, especially something like this, very thin, bendable piece of wood. Doesn't take much. So this strap balances this instrument very nicely. It's fairly short, so it holds the instrument up high on your body where it's very easy to play. You watch a guy play jazz. Watch Steve Martin. Their instrument is held up very high. All I need is this screwdriver. And that's all I need. Oh, and this tuner, or this guitar tuner, that's all I... Actually, it's a banjo tuner. And this is the instrument, or the tool that I use. It's an old Korg guitar tuner to tune the head. I've tuned the head to C sharp, and sounds awful nice and high. And it has some really beautiful overtones on that. So lots to go into putting together a banjo. There are so many moving parts and nuts and bolts. I had to remove every single one of these in order to get in here and make adjustments to the neck and to get the head clean and to clean the metal. Did a full Monty cleanup on this bad boy, and it looks beautiful. You can look at the first video I put up and you can see how nasty it was. There is some oxidation, and some of the finish is bubbled a little bit. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that without replating the instrument. What else? Again, redid the nut and reattached that and moved the screws that hold down the truss rod adjustment slightly that direction so that this side would actually screw into wood and not the hole that they dug out for the truss rod. Boom. Clean up, clean up, clean up. There is the Alvarez Banjo. Hoping to put up a little bit of a video here in a little bit playing the thing. And I'm sorry I say way too much. Oh, my goodness. I hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday. I've got guitar students showing up here about 4 o'clock, and I need to go home and eat something. When I come back, I'll shoot a video of playing this thing as best I can. Peace, y'all.